All right, so good morning. Our topic is speaking. I haven't done this in quite a while. So we have Angel Highness, if I'm not mistaken, that's how you pronounce your name, sir, right? And Valerie joining us with Zoom. Unfortunately, wala akong participant today sa branch. So, mga mumuna naman yung kasama ko dito. So either way, this will be a very brief discussion. If you want the longer version of the speaking skills enhancement, I will be attaching the link of my previous lessons kasi hindi ako masyadong ginaganahan magturo. Hindi siya tumatagal kapag wala akong participant dito. So I don't know how to talk if I don't have participants at the branch. So our main goal for today's discussion is speaking. So meaning I will be talking a lot. We'll be talking heavily on this subtest particularly. So let us take note first of your IELTS exam. Your IELTS is actually divided into two sections. We have the written component and we have the speaking, which is your one-on-one interview with the examiner. Unlike other kinds of tests, English exams available, we have the OET, we have the PTE, we have the MET, which you will be doing this speaking examination through various activities, various exercises through a computer. Your test here will be assessed by a human person. So, unfortunately, diba, humans have preferences. We don't have this universal standard when it comes to the assessment. Okay. And naturally, there will be some problems. So, anong problem ito? So once I had a student na nakakuha siya ng 6 sa kanyang exam. And I advised her to undergo the recheck. Recheck is this part of your assessment where you will require another examiner to watch, to listen to the interview that you did. So it means there will be no more exams conducted here. Yung previous exam mo was recorded. So if you're taking UKVI, may video ito. If you're taking the academic general training module, this will be voice recorded lang. So what happens during recheck is that another examiner will listen to the interview, and upon his or her assessment, it would either change or remain the same. And you know what happened to my student? From 6, her score improved to 7.5. So imagine that. You didn't make to even 6.5. And yet, when another examiner checked, revisited, reviewed your past exam, this candidate improved to 1.5 whole points from 6 to 7.5. Can you imagine that? So, what happened there? No? Doon po papasok yung tinatawag nating bias. Kasi humans have biases. May kanya-kanya tayong trip, di ba? May kanya-kanya tayong preference ng flavor. So, imagine the speaking exam is like me as the examiner asking you to cook a certain dish. Let's say, for example, kare-kare. And you don't know how to cook kare-kare. This lecture is going to help you acquire skills needed for you to cook kare-kare, which is in our analogy speaking. Now, you know how to cook kare-kare. You all have your kare-kare at your table. Magte-taste test na tayo. Yun na siya. Tapos, let's say, out of the 5 kare-kares I have tasted, 3 doon binigyan ko ng 7. Tapos 2 doon binigyan ko ng 6.5. So anong dahilan? Bakit 7? Bakit 6.5? Wala lang. Dahil yun ang gusto kong lasa. Now, ito mga naka 6.5, nagpa-recheck. Tapos, after recheck, ibig sabihin ng recheck, may isang examiner na pupunta sa table nila. Kasi once again, gawa na yung kare-kare, meron ng record. And then, tinaste test nila. Sabi lang, mukhang masarap naman 7 to. Diba? So, that is how biased this exam is. No? So this lecture is going to help you understand every bits and pieces of your speaking test. Paano mo i-improve yung lasa para ito ay papasa sa panglasa ng lahat ng examiner at hindi lang sa isa o dalawang examiner. So, I will be teaching you exactly how to pass your test even without doing this recheck. No? I will teach you that today. So, for today's objectives, we want to be able to organize your speech and answers in the IELTS speaking exam, to come up with an effective answers to questions asked in the speaking subtest, and to be able how to become a better speaker. So, being able to organize your speech and answer is difficult at the beginning, but there is a structure that I am going to let you understand in a bit. And then effective answer. This is where people mistake the speaking test. They always try to come up with an impressive answer. What I encourage you guys to do is to think of an effective answer. So impressive isn't the same as effective. Okay? So let me clarify this first. What do we mean with the difference of effective and impressive? Kasi ang dami ko napapansin kapag nagpapa-interview ng one-on-one speaking during the coaching session that candidates are really thinking of an answer na kakaiba. No? They want to really be amazing, parang ganon. So imagine, talk about a dish you know how to cook. Diba? Tapos, ang maiisip nila, let's say, pomodoro pasta. Eh, napaka-komplikadong lutuin nun. Diba? It's complicated, yet impressive, but it's difficult for you to explain. Nagets mo siya? Ang daming kailangang idagdag na explanation. But if you can think of, let's say, if I'm going to be asked of a dish I know how to cook, this will be seafood, mixed seafood with squash in coconut milk. Diba? All I have to do is to mix all the ingredients and that's it. I was able to let you imagine this dish. Seafood, you got your crabs right there, your shrimp. If you want to put some shellfish, it's fine. Oysters, nice addition. Squash partnered with string beans would be the last to be added on our dish as it simmers. And then you add your coconut milk in the end. Oh, that's it. Diba? But if you make things complicated, like caldereta, let's say, ang daming kailangang i-prepare, ang daming ingredients, baka makalimutan mo pa. Iisipin mo pa, pucha, yung bang laurel may English o yun na yung English nun? Diba? Marami kang struggles. So, I am suggesting that instead of picking an impressive answer, pick an answer you can talk more about to make it effective. Next, to be able to practice how to become a better speaker. Unfortunately, we can only do this through one-on-one coaching. And our one-on-one coaching is conducted every Thursday. It's either Ma'am Shannon or I who will be conducting this one-on-one coaching, where we will be putting you under a simulation. We will be the one facilitating the asking of questions. All you have to do is to answer them with as much prowess as you can, and then we will take note of whether you commit mistakes. If you will commit mistakes, we'll let you know. If you will do good things, we'll also let you know that you should continue doing this because this will help you pass your test. So basically, we do this as a diagnostic. So my suggestion is when you do your one-on-one, you can also do record. You can use your phone to record a conversation so that you can have your reference for your next sessions. Like, your first session, you sucked. I know, first-timers, we don't really expect much for first-timers because, once again, imagine yourself as a baby. Diba? Babies, wala naman yan alam pa eh. So, hanggang matututo yan unti-unti. So, we will be nourishing your growth every step of the way. We'll let you know what mistakes you can change for the better, and we'll let you know what skills you already have that you have to maintain and improve kung kaya pa. Okay? So, that is how we become better in this objective. Now, the speaking subtest is also known as the isolated test. Once again, this is completely isolated from your written exam. So meaning, iba po ang time slot nito. In the past, I just want to share, history muna tayo, that the examination, nangyayari ang speaking Thursday, Friday, tapos the following day, Saturday pa ang kanilang listening, reading, and writing. There will be occasions even, Saturday ang written exam, Sunday ang speaking test. Ang pinakamalayo na na-encounter ko, Tuesday ang speaking test, Sabado ang written test. That was in Pangasinan 2017, no? So but now, if you will be availing our examination here at the branch, kasi po, by the way, we are a testing center to 9.09 Cabanatuan is partner of British Council. We do one sit test in the morning, and we also have one in the afternoon. So basically, dahil 30 minutes per student, kung mag-i-start ng 9 yan, kaya po namin mag-cater hanggang 18 na candidates in a day. So for now, hindi ba namin ito na ma-maximize? Last week, we were able to accommodate, if I'm not mistaken, an all-time high, na 14 candidates for the speaking test. It is also the shortest test among the 4 components. Gaano po ito kabilis? This will only last for 10 to 15 minutes. So it isn't very long, but remember, time, this is one way to gauge whether you pass or fail. Okay, gusto kong sabihin sa inyo ha, this is one way to gauge whether you pass or fail. 10 to 15 minutes. Some people will be happy na, whoo, thank God, 10 minutes ang exam ko, ang bilis. Actually, this lower mark here of your time, this shorter time period means that you were either not able to supply details to your answer, or just the examiner simply doesn't care much about the responses. Dalawang bagay lang yun. Kung sumagot ka, yes or no lang, or kumbaga sa ulan, ambun-ambun lang, or hindi ka interesadong kausap, no? So naturally, iikli talaga yung examination time. Kaya you shouldn't be happy if your test is short. One time, may student nagsumbong, sabi, "Sir, sabi mo 15 minutes, bakit umabot akong 17?" And then I smiled at her. Sabi ko, alam mo ba, when you exceed the 15-minute mark, it only means one thing. This examiner wanted to talk to you for an extended period of time, kaya siya lumagpas sa 15 minutes. And that also means that there is a greater chance for you to pass. So, take it from me, from my 10 years of experience teaching IELTS, the longer the test drags on, the better assessment you have. Okay? Why is it important for nurses? Kasi kailangan natin to sa visa screen eh. And for your visa screen, ang kailangan lang ng mga nurses sa US, 6.5 OBS at 7 na speaking score. So what does it mean? Wala na silang pakialam. Meron nga akong college classmate eh. Ang reading score niya 5. Sabi niya, pre, pwede ba to? Oo naman. OBS mo nga 7. Sabi ko sa kanya, speaking mo 8. O de, kahit yung reading mo 5, welcome to the US ka pa rin. Di ba? So ilang taon na siya sa US? Parang 6 na taon na siya doon. Kahit yung reading niya 5 lang. What we care most about for nurses, especially those who are planning to go to the US, is a speaking test of 7. Now, kung pupunta ka ng UK as a nurse, naturally, kailangan mo pa rin ng 7 sa speaking at 7 sa lahat ng band score, except writing, 6.5 ang minimum. So once again, take note kung saang bansa ka pupunta, ano yung kailangan mong score. Okay? So what we need to avoid po nating mga mote, no? We also have to anticipate what questions will get asked in the test. And don't worry, there is a very low chance for you to experience ano yung na-experience ng dalawang kamote na to, no? Because you already know the answers to the question. So sir, how are you so confident that we know? Kasi tatanungin kami, di ba? How are you confident na alam namin yung sagot sa mga tanong na yon? Well, to be honest, alam kong alam nyo kasi your questions will be about yourself. Like imagine, how difficult is it to answer a question, what is Sir Kevin's favorite color? Di ba, pucha? Paano ko malalaman yun? Hindi ko naman kilala si Sir Kevin. Or, what is Sir Kevin's favorite pair of shoes? Di ba? Hindi ko naman alam yung rotation ni Sir Kevin ng shoes. Pero pag tinanong ka, what is your favorite piece or article of clothing? What is an item you bought when you went to the mall last time? What is your favorite fruit? Ikaw, sarili mo mismo, alam mo yan. Di ba? You just have to recall. You just have to express yourself in English. That is why I am confident that you guys will pass this test because you already know the answers to those common questions. You just need a bit of refresher. You just have to read questions in advance. By the way, people, questions get repeated. They get recycled. Diba? So alam na natin na umuulit-ulit lang ang mga tanong. Meron tayong mga starter questions that we have to understand. So later, ipakita ko sa inyo yung mga common questions na yan. So you will be assessed according to the 4 areas of the language. We have the fluency. Fluency is being able to handle yourself professionally. So when it comes to fluency, naturally, your tone, your response rate, were you able to respond to the question with little to no hesitation? Or do you have this ability to connect your answer to the main question? Or are you only limited to simple types of conversation? Kasi some of the questions needs elaborating. And by the way, never ever let the examiner ask you why. Again, you are hearing this from me. I hope this resonates to my participants, AJ, Angel, Highness, Valerie, and to the replay watchers later. Never, ever, ever, ever allow the examiner to ask you why. This is your goal. This is your objective, to provide as much detail, to assert talkativeness early on. Wala siya dapat itanong bakit. Tinanong ka do you like listening to music? Ang sagot mo, yes. Yun yun yung sagot mo. So saan pupulutin ng examiner yung score? Diba? Kung ang sagot mo pa, 1-word short answer. Tinanong ko, what is your favorite food? Sabi mo, pizza. Hindi man lang buo yung sentence mo. Okay? So that is your fluency and content. Diba? So you can understand this scenario. Never let the examiner ask the question why. Kasi pag ganun, ano na to? This is the mark of failure. Okay? This is the mark of failure. When examiners ask you why, ibig sabihin, you failed to supplement the information needed for your previous answer. So pag sinabi mong no, nandun agad yung follow through. No, I don't like listening to music because I like to enjoy my peace and quiet time whenever I get home. O yun ang sagot niya. Ang sagot mo, yes, I love listening to music because I think it makes doing activities better. Like when I run, I don't think I can run if I'm not listening to my music through my headphones. I think running or some activities, especially cleaning, gets boring if there's no music involved. That's why I love listening to music, especially like genres of blah, blah, blah. Dal, sagot, explain, elaborate, give detail. Never let the examiner ask you the question why. And then when you relate ideas, it should be effortless. Hindi ito dapat robotic, hindi ito dapat it sounds like as if you are patching things up. Hindi siya dapat pilit, no? So it should sound consistent. Next, you have your grammatical range and accuracy. Once again, the most common mistake of grammar in the IELTS speaking test is none other than incomplete sentences. Like, tinanong ko, what is your favorite food? Pizza. So you have to complete your sentence. My favorite food is pizza. Or pizza is the food I like the most. Dapat kompleto yung sentence. No? Bawal yung mga one-word or very short answers. Once again, saan ba pupulutin ng examiner yung score na ibibigay niya sa'yo? Of course, from how you respond to those questions. So, speak in complete and accurate sentences considering the elements of grammar. If you are thinking of past events, Of course, you have to use the simple past form of the verb. If you are if you're supplying facts and opinions, of course, pag facts and opinions, they naturally come by during parts 1 and 3 of your test. So you have to use the simple present tense of the verb. Now, vocabulary. Remember, the only thing na lagi kong sinasabi sa mga students, this is an English exam. So, some of us have tendencies to use English word. Like, minsan nga, may nagpapa-interview ng one-on-one coaching, gumagamit ng po eh. It isn't bad because po is our way of respecting yung kausap natin. No? But the thing is, po is a Filipino term. So, we don't use those po, mga ganyan. Ano? What else? When I ask you what is your favorite food, what is the dish you know how to cook? Tapos ang sagot mo sa akin, mga Filipino dishes like adobo, sinigang, ano pa, kare-kare. The problem there is that, what if, imagine this scenario, your examiner is from Egypt, no? Your examiner is from Peru, your examiner is from Fiji, your examiner is from Mexico. They don't know what the heck is sinigang. They don't know what the heck is kare-kare. So you have to let them understand. So what is kare-kare? So this is ox-tripe in peanut sauce with sauteed shrimp paste. O, diba? Ang komplikado. That, again, doon na naman tayo papasok sa effective versus complicated answer. Okay? So, yun po ang ating vocabulary. Avoid Filipinoisms, avoid Filipino words. And the most important thing that you need to understand is that speaking is all about delivery. Speaking is all about pronunciation. I used to always tell my students during my former lectures of speaking skills enhancement that we shouldn't care too much about grammar. You know that? We shouldn't be too preoccupied with grammar. Kasi karamihan ng disruptions in pronunciation, karamihan ng disruptions about fluency and delivery and content and style and everything in between is that you are afraid to make grammatical mistakes. And when you do commit grammatical mistakes, you make them too obvious. No? Masyadong obvious. Halimbawa, my mother is a very great man, woman, person, ganun ka magsalita. So, imagine that. If I am talking to you and you speak like that, all the mistakes you're committing are because you are letting the examiner know that, hey, look at me. I am not a great English speaker. We should know that. We should know our skills. But we shouldn't let them see. We shouldn't let them probe. Teka, nagkakamali ito. Puro mali, oh. You are a treasure trove of mistakes. Ang dali mong iskuran. Diba? So, huwag mo ipapahalata. Totoo, pag puro mali ka sa grammar, again, hindi ko po ina-encourage po ang lahat ha. Kasi sabi ko nga po sa inyo, may kanya-kanya po tayong level ng English communication skills. Meron po talaga pinanganak, talented, no? Walang ka-idea sa speaking, nag-speaking test, makakascore ng 6.5, makakascore ng 7 sa amin. Given talent yun eh. Diba? You have been exposed to English communication very early on. That's why you're not struggling with this kind of test anymore. Wala na to sa'yo, pang-araw-araw na lang to sa'yo eh. But naturally, meron din naman, like for example, takot sila makipag-usap in English lalo na. Takot sila makipag-communicate. Diba? Takot sila na mahusgahan. So, doon nagkakaroon ng concern. Kaya hindi na nila na-enhance yung kanilang communication skills. Kaya nung dumating sila dito, exam na nila next month, di ba? O utal-utal sila. So this is what I always tell my students. Dun sa mga magagaling na, given na yan. Dun sa mga hindi, kahit mali-mali po ang grammar, ituloy nyo lang po ang sentences. You know what? Examiners, they don't care much about grammar. I had a student, nagpo-post yun sa Facebook. Alam mo yung Jejimon, tapos may 2 comma, malaki yung letter, liliit, lalaki, liliit, tapos mali-mali yung grammar. Pero nasa Amerika na yun, di ba? Di ba? She's already in America, earning $500,000 monthly as her salary. I don't care about ano pa yung grammar na pinopost niya sa Facebook. Naipasa niya tong speaking kahit mali-mali yung grammar niya. It is a testament of how examiners don't care much about grammar, but they do care about how you deliver your answer. Kasi at the end of the day, this is not an intelligence exam. This is a test of how well you can communicate using the English language. And when you communicate, you have to make it clear, you have to deliver it consistently, you have to also put appropriate stress, like what I'm using right now. Naglalagay ka ng mga mga tones na ganon. So, that is the most important. Perhaps, the most important part of the speaking assessment. Like, I can discard. Totoo yan. Pwede kong itapon yung fluency, vocabulary, grammar, and only pronunciation and delivery remains. So, imagine this, ha? This is a complete sentence. This is a great answer. Pakinggan niyo. Hey, my name is Ian. I'll be your examiner for today. What is your name? Hi Ian, my name is Kevin Makalagnan. You can call me Kevin for short, because that is what my friends and family call me. It's nice to meet you. That is a great fluency. Of course, there's no hesitation. It was smooth throughout. The answer was connected to the question. Details were provided. The grammar was perfect. No mistakes in vocabulary. But there was no pronunciation and delivery involved. Wala siyang bitaw na communicative. It is not meant to communicate. It's just meant for the words to be read. So you have to pronounce the word. You have to deliver the message. That is about what about speaking is, and the most important part is none other than pronunciation and delivery. Okay? So how can you practice speaking with great pronunciation and delivery? Well, I've got a couple of exercises for you. So first, let us understand, what is the speaking subtest? Remember, we have personal answers, which are ideas coming from personal experiences and opinions. We have intellectual answers that will come from information from audiovisual sources like television and the internet. We also have different types of speech: memorized, extemporaneous, and impromptu. Remember, your test is divided into 3 parts. Part 1, okay, lista ko na siya. Part 1 is what we call the introduction and interview. Okay? Introduction and interview. Part 2 is individual, long-term. And part 3 is your two-way discussion. So, the introduction and interview is, we can apply the memorize before the time of speech. Sir, ayoko po kasi ng memorize kasi baka hindi po siya magtunog na authentic. Actually, even if you memorize your answer, you can make it sound authentic through the manipulation of your pronunciation. No? So, wag kang kabahan na minemorize mo na in advance yung mga tanong. Part 2 is an individual long-term. This is extemporaneous speaking because you're given ample time to prepare. Little time, 1 minute to prepare. And then two-way discussion, speak immediately without time for preparation. The problem is, impromptu speech is the most difficult to deliver because questions are surprising. Like, may naitanong about television, may naitanong about history. Yung student ko, nasa Canada yun nasa Canada na po. Okay? Ando na po siya. Nag-take po siya ng exam. Ang natatandaan daw niya na question sa part 3, pinakahuling-huling tanong is, how important history lessons are for people who live in Egypt. Like, puta, nagbura ako. Nasa Canada to, ha? Like, anong hair ko dito, sir? Di ba nakakagulat? Okay? So, don't worry. If you encounter surprising questions, if you encounter questions that pop out of nowhere, I'll give you some tips how to handle this kind of questions mamaya, no? Okay, so tune in ka lang dyan, relax ka lang dyan. So once again, we can sift through, we can transition. In part 1, memorize type of speech tayo. But we manipulate our articulator so that it wouldn't sound memorized. Extemporaneous, this is how you deliver your speech. This is very informative. This is very detailed. This is carefully explained. Impromptu, you have to minimize your time to think. No? I-minimize mo yung, minimize mo yung mga yan, yung mga filler. Okay? So, variations, we have informative, persuasive, and demonstration speech. It serves as a very powerful instructional technique. Let's say, for example, naitanong ka ng examiner, Kevin, what is an electric appliance used at home that you think is the most useful? Diba? Tas ang sagot ko ay, simple lang, electric fan. Diba? Yun lang yung sagot ko. For me, the most important, perhaps, I wouldn't be able to survive the day without my electric fan. That is because this appliance that I use at home provides me with artificial air circulation. You see, this is plugged into an electric socket, which in the Philippines is about 120 volts by default. So some of my electric fans are already plugged in. And there are some buttons that I can use to measure its wind speed. 0 turns the thing off, 1 gives you the minimum amount of air, 2 is moderate, and 3 is the highest speed of the wind that I can acquire from this. So I think this is the most important. Diba? Electric fan lang yung dinidiscuss ko, pero ang powerful niya if you demonstrate it. If you let the examiner imagine, may blade ito, may takip yan, so that children, especially even adults, cannot put their finger kasi pwedeng magka-injury. Pwede mo idagdag yan, di ba? So that's a very powerful instructional technique that we can also use in such kinds of exam. Remember, confidence is the key when learning how to think on your feet. When you're presenting information, giving an opinion, or providing suggestions, make sure that you know what you're talking about. Take note that when you translate your thoughts and ideas into coherent speech quickly, you ensure that your ideas are heard. You also come across as confident, persuasive, and trustworthy candidate. Remember, guys, confidence isn't like a pill that you can order in a pharmaceutical store and you can just take it, drink it, and you will gain confidence. Confidence is something that can be developed through time. So imagine, I would like to use the analogy of driving. Some of you guys are already drivers for a long time. Remember, when you started driving, or even riding a bike, when you started riding a bike, hindi ka naman agad nagtitricks. Nung nag-start ka mag-drive, hindi ka naman agad nag-overtake. You're really very careful. But as time passed by, dahil nakasanayan mo na siya, you were able to gain confidence. Similar to doctors, similar to nurses. Di ba? Nung students pa lang tayo, mga nurses, hirap na hirap tayo mag-inject. But ngayon, we can do that easily. Okay? Dati nga, nag-BBP lang. Kabadong-kabado pa tayo eh. But now, kayang-kaya na natin siya. Because confidence is something that is developed through time. Time and exposure. You have to expose yourself. Hindi ka naman matututo mag-drive kung nagbabasa ka lang about driving. Hindi ka naman matututo mag-drive kung passenger ka lang palagi. Hindi ka naman matututo mag-inject kung lagi ka na naka-observe. Matututo ka kapag ginawa mo siya. Every single opportunity that you have. So, pag drive ka, the following day, drive ka ulit, you become better each day. And that is the same with speaking. Speak in English. Communicate in English. Practice and have yourself coach. When you do that regularly, trust me, you will improve. Okay? So relax is the first thing you need to do. Remember, if you are tensed, it will be difficult for you to produce, to generate ideas properly. So take deep breaths, give yourself a positive affirming message. Remember, pag nanonood ka ng mga wrestling, nanonood ka ng boxing, ng UFC, nanonood ka ng basketball, di ba? Merong introduction yung mga players. Di ba? May umaapoy-apoy pa nga eh. Tapos meron pang background music na talagang nakaka-boost ng confidence nila. No? Alam niyo kung bakit? Kasi this is their way how to boost their confidence. Ikaw, you have to know who you are. Like, paano ka ba nagiging confident? Pag meron kang gagawin na isang bagay. Pag ba naglagay ka ng piso sa sapatos? Pag ba nagsuot ka ng pulang underwear? Diba? When you give yourself a positive affirming message na, alam mo, Kevin, ikaw pinaka-pogi sa buong kabanatuan. Diba? Guys, if that's how you become confident, do it. Okay? Listen. Remember, listening is as important as speaking. Hindi mo nga naintindihan yung tanong, bara-bara kang sumagot. So naturally, if you will respond to the question you don't understand in the first place, there is a tendency that makapagbigay ka ng incorrect response. So once again, there is nothing to be afraid of to ask the examiner to repeat the question if you cannot fully understand it. But please do so with respect. Please ask the examiner politely. Bakit kailangan ko siyang igalang? Bakit kailangan ko maging polite? Guys, sip-sip tayo dito. Tandaan nyo ha, si examiner, nakaharap nyo, kausap nyo, siya po ang magbibigay sa atin ng score. So when we sound polite, when we sound kind, even though ang dami mong mali sa vocab and grammar, baka dahil sa mabait kang kausap, ibigyan ka niya ng mataas na score. Ganun lang po itong laro na to. Okay? So once again, hindi po ito pabaitan ha. Gusto ko lang i-clarify. Hindi po ito pabaitan, hindi po ito pagandahan, hindi po ito papogian. Ito po ay tamaan ng sagot. No? When I say tama, there's no right or wrong answer, but there is a more connected answer to the question. So you can only do this if you listen. So sir, how to ask the examiner to repeat the question politely? Diba? So bawal yung mga I'm sorry. Come again, bawal yung mga yan. Pardon, bawal po yan. Kailangan buo, no? I'm sorry. Can you please repeat the question? Ano pa? I'm sorry, would you mind repeating this question slowly? Because I wasn't able to hear that properly. Thank you. O, di ba? And then say, thank you. Kasi it makes you sound polite. It makes you sound kind. Okay? So, kung talagang maldita ka, di ka talaga mabait, please, para lang dito, magpakabait ka muna. No? Para isang beses ka na lang mag-take ng exam. Have the question repeated. It makes you look concerned about giving an appropriate response. But remember, courtesy matters. Use stall tactics. Ano ba si stall tactic? Gusto ko lang i-explain ha. If you watch movies, if you watch television shows, tapos merong maiiwan para, sige, tumakbo na kayo. Ako nang bahala dito sa mga zombies na to. Yun po si stall. Ibig sabihin, you're buying yourself some time. Binibigyan mo yung sarili mo ng oras para makapag-isip. Remember, ang bilis lang po ng oras dito sa speaking test. At we cannot have dead airs. Pag sabing dead air, nag-iisip ka for like 30 seconds, bawal yan. Mga 2 to 3 seconds ka lang dapat tahimik. No? So, sir, paano po pag nag-iisip ako? No? So, speak even you are thinking. Halimbawa, ang tanong sa'yo is, talk about an exercise you wanted to try. Diba? So, introduce mo muna. No? Well, I'm not a person who is very active. But for quite some time, I've been involved in playing badminton and even pickleball with my friends. I even do running for a couple of years back then. But if there's an exercise, a sport that I would like to try, that will be tennis. Well, of course, I've tried badminton and pickleball, but I really wanted to try tennis, which is the mother of those sports. So I would like to understand how difficult it is to swing a racket. Unfortunately, tennis racket is very expensive. I found ones that costs around 15 to 17,000 pesos. It's about $300 in pesos. So that's why I wanted to try it. But if I'll be able to try it, I'll be borrowing some gear from my friends first because of how expensive some of the equipment that tennis uses. So that is the exercise I would like to try in the future. Di ba? Ganon, nag-iisip ka muna, but you are using sentences to give you time. Hindi ka lang tahimik. You are using stall tactics. Don't just blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind. Narrow your focus and bring your question down to a manageable scope. Stick to one point at a time. No? Tinanong ka, Kevin, what is your favorite shop? Ayan, sige, magandang example to. I-type ko ha para makita nyo. No? Kevin, what is your favorite shop? My favorite shop is Bench. Located in SM Mega Mall. It is very accessible. To me, since I live near Bonnie Avenue, Bonnie Station of the MRT in Mandaluyong City. Mandaluyong in Manila is also where the National Center for Mental Health is located, where I used to work for 4 years. Ayan. Yan po yung sample ng maling sagot. Ano? English yan, totoo. Ang daldal, totoo. But tingnan nyo. My favorite shop is Bench, the one located in SM Mega Mall. It is very accessible to me since I live near Bonnie Station of the MRT in Mandaluyong City. Did you know Mandaluyong City in Manila is also where the NCMH or the National Center for Mental Health is located? That's where I used to work for 4 years. Diba? Ang layo mo na, te. Ang tanong lang, ano ba yung favorite shop mo? Bench. O doon ka lang dapat mag-focus. Bakit mo siya favorite? Diba? Why Bench, not Guess? Oh, Bench and Guess sell almost exactly the same stuff. But Bench is less expensive. Diba? O ano pa? Abisado mo na yung mga ano dito eh. Mga items. At ang lalaki ng discounts nila. Pwede mong idagdag. Nagets mo yun? So, you don't have to be talkative, but yung pagiging talkative mo, ang layo na sa hulog kung saan ka na napupunta. So, stick ka sa one point, bakit Bench? Bakit National Bookstore? English man yung sinabi mo, but ang layo nung connect niya dun sa main point, mababa ang fluency score mo dyan. Task 1, remember, is the start of your IELTS exam. First, impressions do last, especially in this kind of exam. Yan. That is why, ito, mag-on po ako ng video. Don't know if you can see me. Uy, ang dami na nating participants. Yan. So, when you introduce yourself, for example, my first question is this. Good day, my name is Ian Wall and I'll be your examiner for today. What is your name? Sabi ni Ian, no? So, dapat, you seem like a person who is nice to talk to. Like, this is a person who will give me a great conversation. How? Diba? What is your name? Sabi ni Ian. Hi, Ian. Diba? Ang ngiti ako. Mhm. Hi, Ian. My name is Kevin Mangulabnan. I know my last name is long, so just call me Kevin for short, as that is what my friends and family calls me too. It's nice to meet you. Diba? Pag ganun yung kausap mo, parang, masarap kausap to ah. Kasi, examiner's job is perhaps one of the most boring jobs in the planet. Nakakatamad yun kasi they will ask the same set of questions throughout the day. What is your name? Are you working or studying? Live in a house or an apartment? Blah, 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 blah. Puro ganun lang eh. Wala nagtatanong sa kanila ng questions, diba? So, there really isn't much going on with their day-to-day habits. Minsan nawawala na yung passion nila. Kasi nga, ang boring ng exam. No? Puro interview. So pag nakakausap ka ng ganun, parang magiliw. No? Yun yung Filipino term ng magiliw na candidate. Courteous, polite. Masarap kausap. No? Kahit pang 6 lang to, ang dami niyang mistakes sa grammar and vocabs, i-7 na nga natin, masarap naman kausap eh. Ganun sila mag-isip. Kaya nga, may nakaka-6, pero after recheck, nakaka-7.5. Flavor, people. Think about your flavors. So, first impressions do last. Remember, task 1 questions will revolve around you. Puro sa'yo yan. Okay? So, usual task 1 questions. Tandaan na po ito guys ha. Magwa one-on-one coaching tayo sa Thursday. Mag-exam ka. Expect, ito po ang unang tanong. What is your name? May report sa akin lately, hindi na daw nagtatanong ng mga examiner ng what is your name. Dito sila diretso. So good day, it appears here that your name is Kevin, correct? Okay, so Kevin, are you working or are you studying? Ganun sila, diretso sila dyan. Okay. So, unahin muna natin si what is your name. So, just in case may tanong to, you can use the way how I introduce myself. Hi, my name is Kevin Mangulabnan. Please call me Kevin for short, as that is what my friends and family calls me. It's nice to meet you. Just wait for another question. Yes, you can stop here. Later, hindi tayo mag-i-stop. Pero dahil ito po yung question, mag-i-stop muna tayo. Next question is, oh Kevin, are you working or are you studying right now? Once again, iba-iba po tayo. Okay? Meron sa atin nagtatrabaho, mention your job. Like, currently, I'm employed as a nurse at Premier Medical Center located in Cabanatuan City. I've been working there for 3 years now in Ward B. And my job is to cater for the needs of my patients. Even though my job as a nurse is quite tough at the moment because we have so much patients lately. It is my passion to help my patients recover from their illnesses. Diba? Napaka-plastic ng sagot. Kasi, gusto natin tayo yung bida, tayo yung mabait. Eh bakit ka ba nag-nurse? Kasi nandun yung pera pag nakapag-ibang bansa ka. Yun naman po yung totoo eh. Diba? So, sir, paano po yun? Resigned na po ako. Then, be honest. Right now, I'm not working nor studying since I just resigned from my previous post being the IT in the company, which is called Niner Medical Supply. And I've been working there for 8 years before I resigned since I'm planning to work abroad. So I want to utilize my time in preparation, including this examination, so that I can have a better opportunity of applying abroad, particularly in Canada, also as an IT. Diba? So, pwede mong sabihin yan. Or, sir, ala po akong trabaho kasi naghahanap pa, kakagraduate ko lang po. Say so, diba? I'm not working yet since I just graduated 2 months ago. I took the bachelor's degree of engineering in Wesleyan University, Philippines. I took this course for 5 years. So, I'm still looking for a job and hopefully I would be able to land one abroad. That's why I'm taking this exam. Di ba? You're being honest. Sir, nag-aaral pa po ako, then say so. Anong course yan? Or kung hindi yan course, anong level of education yan? Tertiary na ba? Secondary pa rin ba? Saan? Basta related doon sa kung saan ka nag-aaral. So example lang, I'm currently studying at Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology. I'm still at my secondary level at my senior high school. I'm grade 11, taking the strand of humanities and I don't know what UMSS is. So, kayo yan, na? I took this course, I took this strand because I'm preparing for my dream college course of, sabihin mo din. Sir, hindi po ako nagtatrabaho, hindi po ako nag-aaral. Ako po ay isang full-time housewife. Say so, di ba? I'm not working nor studying at the moment since I have decided to be a full-time housewife for my family. I have 3 kids to take care of. So, my work usually is to keep them fed, take care of the household, ensure that everything is clean and well organized. I also manage the finances of the house. So I think this is even more difficult than a full-time job I used to have when I was in the Middle East, working as a nurse 8 years ago. Pwede mong sabihin yan. Okay? So yun, alam mo na, guys ha, sa mga manonood po ng replay mamaya, sa mga participants natin ngayon, siyam kayo, AJ, Angel, Angela, Highness, Jomar, Melo, Miles, Queen, Valerie, alam nyo na eh. Tatanungin si, are you working, are you studying? This is the starter question. This is the first shot. Alam mo na eh. Paghandaan mo na. Di ba? So, paano mo paghahandaan yan? Face a mirror, get your phone, record your answer, and do practice. Oh, naka-record na. Okay, I'm not currently working at the moment because, paano nga ulit yun? Lista mo, di ba? Kabisaduhin mo na. Okay? Next is your, do you live in a house or in an apartment? So when you say, do you live, excuse me, ano ba yan? So when you say, do you live in a house or an apartment, mention the place of residence you are in right now. So saang lugar siya, ilang rooms meron, you can mention the exact address. Hindi ka naman i-stock ng examiner, no? So you can tell him or her where you live. So practicein nyo rin, na rin yan. I'm currently living in a house together with my family, situated at number 33 Emerald Street, Kevinville Subdivision, Cabanatuan City. The neighbors are quite friendly, and it's a very amazing household that we got. It was designed by my wife. So everything down from the curtains, the color of the tiles that we use in the kitchen is thought carefully of by my wife. So the only design I was able to get my hands on is, of course, the entertainment area, which I wanted to be painted green. Explain mo siya kay examiner. So task 1 questions breakdown. You will be asked about your likes and dislikes. Diba? Kung natatandaan nyo during our one-on-one speaking sessions, mga tanong ko dyan is, what is an activity you like doing the most? What is a TV show you like watching? What is a movie you would like to share to your friends? What is a topic you like talking about with your family? So, tungkol sa mga gusto mo, pati dislikes, ano? What is the time of the day that you don't like? What is the day of the week that you don't like the most? What is a household chore? Di ba? That you don't like doing. Ano bang gawaing bahay yung ayaw mo? Paghuhugas ba ng pinggan? Paplansya ba ng damit? Ano? No? Past experiences. Like, recall an instance when you and your friends went out for a walk. Present condition. What do you like most about your job right now? Future plans. If you can change careers in the future, what will that be? Hobbies and interests. What activities are you into lately? Do you play video games? Do you like reading books? Do you play sports? How many hours in a day do you spend time on the internet? Puro yan yung tanong, di ba? So we can expect that regardless of what the question is asked, it will be easy for us to handle since this is about ourselves. May natanong yung examiner tungkol sa boat. Sir, paano na-relate sa akin yung boat, di ba? Oh. Would you want to own a boat in the future? Have you tried riding a boat? Tungkol pa rin sa iyan. Oh, ngayon, kung gusto mong magmay-ari ng boat o hindi, depends on how you answer it. Di ba? You can say, yes, I would love to own a boat, particularly a medium-sized yacht, because I would like to just eat, drink some wine, celebrate something with my wife, probably when we are retired, have it parked in Olongapo City because that's where a lot of yachts are located in my country. So I think this will be an amazing experience to own a boat. Oh, sabi mo, I don't think I would like to own a boat because I would rather travel by land because I'm really afraid of the waters. I don't know how to swim. And of course, maintaining a boat is going to be expensive, plus the taxes. So I don't think I'll be qualified to own a boat. And even if I'm qualified to own one, I wouldn't buy one. I would rather buy an SUV so that I can travel by land much more easily. Gano'n, nasa sa'yo. Gusto mo magkaroon ng boat? Ayaw. Okay, ano pa? Pets. Do you have pets at home? Do you play video games? Do you play computer games? Do you read books? Kung di ka nagbabasa ng books, hindi. Kung nagbabasa ka ng books, sabihin mo, ganun lang, diba? So you just have to be honest. You don't have to come up with impressive answers. Again, pick answers that you can talk more about. Okay? So, any questions so far? From our participants? Meron po ba silang questions so far? So before, sinasuggest ko yung use eye contact appropriately kasi naka face-to-face tayo ngayon, via Zoom na lang yung exam eh. Appropriate level of formality. Of course, we should be courteous, we should be polite, pero we have to also sound friendly. Nakikipagkaibigan tayo dito, yun yung sound, ano? We use pauses variably. Napapansin niyo pag ako nagsasalita, I also use pauses. So, hindi po end of the world kapag nag-pause ka. Hindi, babagsak na ako, nag-pause ako. Hindi po. We use pauses to add flavor and color to the speech. Know the following facts about yourself. Diba? Sino ba ako? No? Dapat alam mo na yung mga facts na yan sa sarili mo. Anong favorite color mo? So, assignment mo yan, ano? Paano pag natanong sa'yo yung mga questions tulad ng movie? Movie that I would like to share with my friends. Diba? Or a TV show that you enjoy watching lately. So naturally, mas maganda kung English yun, ha? Huwag yung mga Filipino TV shows kasi ang lalaswana ng mga palabas lately, ano, nakaka-cringe na. So think of something in English, educational, fun. Pag tinanong nga ako, what is a TV show that you like watching? The Pawn Stars. Mamaya explain ko yan. O, careful ka sa pronunciation, baka porn stars masabi mo dyan, ha? Easy ka. Leisure activities, Kanya-kanya po tayo ng pinagkakaabalahan, time spent on the internet, how many hours in a day. So since my job requires me to be online most of the time, I use the internet more than 8 hours in a day. That is why after long tiring day at work, I will be logging out of my accounts and spend just 30 minutes scrolling my messages, my emails, so that I can spend more time with my family. Pets, favorites, dyan po iikot yung task 1 questions. Yung mga sample. Free time. Is there some other hobby or sport you would like to try? Sabi ni Jomar, same po ba sir sa GT? Oo, Jomar, there's no difference between ACAD and GT when it comes to speaking. So kung ano po at gaano po kahirap ang tanong sa ACAD, minsan nga baka mas mahirap pa tanong sa GT, no? Ayoko lang kayo takutin, but that's how it goes. Holidays, shopping, transport, places to go in your free time. So yun po yung mga questions natin for speaking. I have more. Your neighborhood, sports and games, reading. Pati nasabi ko sa inyo ng mga surprising questions like owning a boat. How many hours, so how many times in a week do you eat fast food? May mga ganun pa silang tanong. Di ba? Do you know someone who owns exotic pets? Di ba? Kung wala kang kilala, di wala. Kung meron, di kwento mo. Ganun lang naman siya. Remember, all these questions are typically used only to start the conversation. The examiner can ask you 3 to 5 other different questions depending on your answer or depending on the examiner. Remember that, okay? So next is our task 2, the individual long term. By the way, guys, Sir Irvin, our CEO and founder, scored 9 multiple times in his lifetime. Si Ma'am Shannon po naka 8.5 sa kanyang speaking score. But I would like to address etong si individual long term. I would like to address this. Even though you are as good as Ma'am Shan, even though you are as great as Sir Irvin, if you will not answer, if you will not be able to address a bullet point, which means you miss it or you either misinterpret it, then you will fail the test. Sa madaling sabi, yung task 1 mo at task 3 mo, kasing galing mo yung mga legends, pero yung task 2 mo, palpak yan. Okay, sabi ni Valerie, sir, sa question po na do you work or study, sabi po ni Coach Shannon, mas maganda na hindi banggitin nag-prepare ka for IELTS. Actually, yeah, I just forgot to add that, Valerie and everyone else, and even the replay watchers mamaya. When you tell the examiner you are preparing for IELTS, that means this is their go signal to ask you more difficult questions. What I mean here is that sinabi mo na, I'm not working, I'm not studying, but I am studying for IELTS. That's the exact same term. Kanina, I was mentioning about that is why I'm taking this exam. But hindi ko nabanggit doon na that is why I took my time to prepare for this test and study for this exam. So, ganun siya. Again, halimbawa si Valerie, hindi ka nagtatrabaho. Kasi I know you're a student who just graduated. Sabihin mo na lang instead na you just graduated, you're not yet working, you're looking for a way to apply for a student visa in Australia, kung yun yung iyong reason bakit ka nagtitake ng exam. So I'm not working nor studying at the moment because I am still applying for my student visa. I would like to be able to study in Australia, particularly in New South Wales University. I would like to take the course of nursing. I graduated last month from Santo Domingo National High School with this academic strand that is in line with my course, my future course, that is nursing. Diba? So wag niyo pong sasabihin na kayo po ay nag-aaral ng IELTS. Kasi go signal nila yon para hirapan nila ang tanong. Okay? Yan. May tanong pa pong iba, may gusto pang i-clarify. So once again, let me return to my point. Kasing galing mo man sila sa part 1 and part 3. Like really doing great. You're amazingly blitzering this performance. But if you miss or misinterpret a bullet point in task 2, you fail the test. Simple as that. No? So you'll be asked here to talk a certain topic. There will be some questions, outline questions, guide points. Bibigyan kanya ng pencil, paper, and the task card containing the question. People, you have to listen to me carefully here, ha? Listen to me properly. Okay. When we do your one-on-one coaching, we make you feel as if you are taking the actual test. We want you to feel this as a simulation of the actual test. That is why when we invite you during the one-on-one coaching, if it is your turn, we'll always ask you if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, not your phone. No? Kasi sa totoong exam po, bawal po ang phone. Ang ibibigay po sa inyo talaga ay pencil and paper. And you will use the pencil and paper to outline your ideas. So to put it simply, ang task 2 ay tatagal po ng 3 to 4 minutes, including the 1 minute preparation time given, plus your pencil and paper to outline your ideas. Your task 2 will only last for 2 to 3 minutes. Okay? So, kaya po napaka-importante na pati yung pagdadala ng lapis or pen if you don't have a pencil and a piece of paper on your part is important because hindi na namin yun ipoprovide sa inyo dito sa branch. Magdala ka na naman na ng sarili mo. Ikaw ang estudyante, di ba? So, please get yourself a notebook, a paper, perhaps, and bring a pen or a pencil for your one-on-one coaching. Since you're given 1 minute, prepare for the answers. Create an outline on the paper given to you. How do you organize your answer? Well, you can use the outline questions to organize your answers. Just follow the order of the questions if you're having problems organizing your speech. And follow the flow of your speech. So yesterday, gusto ko lang pong ipakita sa inyo yung nangyari kahapon. I'll be giving this as an example. I asked a question, talk about a gift you gave to someone. Yan po yung tanong ko dun sa candidate. Your answer should include bullet point number 1. Asterisk natin yan. What? Okay. What is the gift? What was the occasion? Who you gave the gift to? And when did you give it? Yan. So again ha, hindi ko pa po sasampulan ito ng sagot kasi meron ako mga samples later. I just want to highlight yung naging question nung student. Sabi niya, Sir, you gave me a low score sa speaking because of task 2. Kasi hindi niya sagot itong what is the gift, hindi niya na-describe to properly, at saka yung what was the occasion. Okay? Kasi sir, ang ginawa ko, nag-focus ako sa, again, nandiyan yung what is the gift briefly, who you gave the gift to, and when did you give it. Tapos nagdagdag ako ng mga, ito yung sinabi niya, no, ng mga additional answers. Yan. So, si additional answers, this isn't bad. Hindi po yan masama, ha? Gusto kong sabihin sa inyo, like, kaano-ano mo itong pinagbigyan, di ba? Kasi papasok din naman yan sa who you give the gift to, saan mo binili, no? Yun yung mga nilagay niya, saan niya binili, dineliver ba to, sa Amazon ba dinala? Sorry, Amazon ba yung nag-deliver? Sa Amerika pa ba niya to in-order or what? Additional answers isn't wrong. Additional answers are important to supplement your original answers. But only if you already satisfied your objective of answering the questions first. Kasi, ang ibig sabihin niyan, kung nagbigay ka ng, ulitin ko lang ha, ang ibig sabihin niya, kung nagbigay ka ng supplemental answer and you miss, let's say, what was the occasion? You didn't answer one bullet point. Guys, alam niyo ba kung gaano ka-importante yung bullet point? Sabi ko nga, di ba, Ma'am Shannon, Sir Irvin, mga naka 7.5 at 9 yan sa exam. Kasing galing mo sila sa part 1 and part 3. And na-miss mo yung bullet point. Ano na lang maximum score mo? Band 6 ka na lang. Ang lala, di ba? Dahil lang sa isang bullet point na hindi mo nasagot because you gave an additional answer instead of answering the main points first. So, again, itong student na to, second time pa lang niya nagpa-coach. Kaya sabi ko, it's a good thing na ngayon nalaman natin very early on na kailangan pala muna targetin yung mga target. Tapos, kung nabitin ako sa oras, tsaka ako magdadagdag kung anong brand to, kung saang website ko to nabili, sale ba to, 'di ba, nung nabili ko. So, yun siya. Napaka-importante po ng task 2. Ay, okay. Sir, kahit po ba hindi in order yung pag-answer, pwede pong sama-sama na. Okay, sabi ni Valerie, okay, gusto ko lang pong i-clarify. Kasi meron akong note dito, how do I organize my answers, right? And the way how you organize your answer is follow the order of the questions. Kasi ang daming nagsasabi na, tulad nun, di ba? Yung binigay kong example, yung describe a gift you gave to someone, nakalagay yung what is the gift. Ang ginawa mo, Valerie, example, inuna mo yung who you give the gift to. Tama? Okay? Who you give the gift to, tapos saka ka nagpunta sa what was the gift, and then nagpunta ka sa what was the occasion ng bullet point 4 bago ka mag-bullet point 2. So, nangyayari, ang order ng bullet points, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, ginawa mo siyang 2, 4, 1, 3. Parang ganon. So, ang problem niyan is that the bullet points are already arranged in such a fashion that examiners think this is the best arrangement of your answers in this particular occasion. Intindihin natin ha, nilagay nila yung pagkakasalansan, pagkakasaayos-ayos, pagkakasunod-sunod ng bullet points dahil nakikita nila na yung pamamaraan na to is the best. No? So dahil gumawa ka ng sarili mong arrangement, tingin nila, teka, ibig sabihin yung pagkaka-arrange ko ng tanong ko, sa tingin mo, hindi okay? Sige, bawasan kita. Di ba? Parang ino-offend natin sila. Kaya kung may tanong kayo na, sir, pwede ko ba siyang paghalu-haluin? Okay, here is my first answer. Pwede. Basta masagot mo lahat ng bullet points, walang problema. Pero nire-recommend ko ba na paghalu-haluin mo, pag-jumble-jumblein mo yung arrangement ng bullet point? Hindi. Kasi offensive yun sa part ng examiner because they arranged that they thought they arranged these bullet points in such an order that they think this is the best order of your answer. Clear, Valerie? Or everyone else, kung may tanong din kayo na ganon, I hope I made it clear. Okay. So you will need to speak for a minimum of 2 minutes to answer the task. Examiner usually get the task card from you before they start speaking. Be sure to answer all the questions. Do not limit yourself to the question. Provide as much detail and information. You will not be interrupted by the examiner during your delivery. Unless you exceed 2 minutes, stop talking when the examiner tells you to do so. Ito po, isa pa po sa mga gusto kong i-clarify. Gusto ko pa pong i-clarify ito. Your exam is between 2 and 3 minutes. Plus 1 minute preparation time, this is between 3 and 4 minutes. Tama? Okay. So, ang minimum natin is 2. Ulitin ko lang, makinig mabuti. Ang minimum natin ay 2 minutes. Ilan ang bullet point? 4. So, sa 4 na bullet point, di-divide mo yan ng 2 minutes. Okay? So, 2 minutes divided by 4, which is 120 seconds divided by 4. Meron kang 30 seconds. Is that per bullet point? So, itong 30 seconds, babawasan natin yan ng 5. You have to spend 25 seconds per bullet. Okay, 25 seconds per bullet. Saan napunta, sir, yung nawalang 20 seconds? Okay, kasi in total yan, kung babawasan mo ng 5 segundo yan, na 4 na bullet point, may 20 seconds akong nawawala. So, 20 seconds po ang gagamitin nyo to introduce and to conclude. Ulitin natin. Again ha, we are doing this strategically. Okay? So, sa mga nagpa-coach na before, ganito po dapat ang part 2. So, may main point ka, bullet point 1, ito yun, asterisk. 4 na asterisk yan. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. So, sa main point, syempre, introduce mo muna yung sagot mo. So, 10 seconds yan. Tapos, 25 seconds ka sa bullet point na to. Ganun din, dito sa susunod na bullet point. Susunod na bullet point. And then, susunod na bullet point. Tapos, may conclusion ka pa. Summary, yung ending. Diba? This is also going to give, you should give this at least 10 seconds then. So, ang total niyan is 120 seconds or 2 minutes. So, ganun nyo po i-divide yung oras ng task 2. Okay? Now, sir, sabi mo, minimum ng 2, maximum ng 3. Kasi iba-iba nga po ang examiner at iba-iba din ang exam. May examiner na i-enforce niya yung 2-minute rule. May examiner na i-enforce naman niya si 3 minutes. So, sa ginawa natin na to, kung natapat tayo sa examiner na si 2-minute examiner, si 2 minutes lang, goods na siya, kinat ka na niya, tanong, nasagot mo ba lahat ng points plus yung bullet points? In 2 minutes. Nasagot mo ba? The answer is yes. Ngayon, natapat ka kay 3-minute examiner. Yung examiner na nag-i-enforce ng 3 minutes. Okay? Paano malalaman na sa examiner ay nag-i-enforce ng 2 minutes o nag-i-enforce ng 3 minutes? Well, si examiner na nag-enforce ng 2 minutes, tapos na agad yung exam. Magtatanong na siya agad. That begins your part 3. Tapos na tayo sa task 2, magtatanong na ako, 120 seconds is over, 2 minutes is done, here's your part 3 question, first question, boom, tatanungin ka na niya agad. Ganon. Ngayon, kung si examiner ay si 3-minute examiner, ganito gagawin niya. Sesenya siya ng kamay. Gaganon siya. Sabi niya, uy, gagot ka pa. Hindi siya magsasalita, gaganon siya. Sesenyas lang yan. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Okay? Ibig sabihin nun, natapat ka sa mabait na examiner. Number 1, baka kulang pa yung bullet point. 2 minutes na, sabi niya. Bilisan mo. 2 minutes na, hindi mo pa nasasagot tong pangatlo. Parang ganun yung ibig sabihin niya. Sir, bakit di sila magsalita? Kasi, when they speak, tapos na ang part 2. That is the beginning of your part 3. At kahit magpa-recheck ka, pag pinakinggan niya ng susunod na examiner, ang labas niyan, hindi mo na-fulfill yung 4 bullet points in 2 minutes. Kaya si 3-minute examiner, sabi niya, kulang pa, go on. Okay? Yun yung first na reason bakit siya gaganito. Pangalawa, gusto pa niya na magdagdag ka ng info. So, naalala nyo kanina yung student na nagsabi, Sir, paano kung hindi ko sagutin tong 2 bullet point, tas magdagdag ako dito ng gusto kong sagot? Actually, no, doon papasok yung idadagdag mo na gustong sagot. Pag gumanito si examiner. Pag gumanito si examiner, check mo, was I able to answer all the bullet points? Paano mo malalaman na na-answer mo lahat ng bullet points? Nilista mo siya, di ba? Nag-take note ka, di ba? So, ginagamit mo siya as checklist. So, tingin sa monitor, salita, 25 seconds. Tingin sa note, i-check yung bullet point, tapos na ako sa'yo. Tingin na naman sa monitor, sabihin yung pangalawang bullet point, check mo sa note mo, 2 bullet points, down. Pangatlong bullet point, 25 seconds, check mo na naman. It means hindi mo na miss isabihin si bullet point, 3 bullet points, down. 4 bullet point, sinasabi mo na yung answer, 25 seconds, and then you conclude, 120 seconds is done. Natapat ka kay 2 minutes, tinanong ka na agad ng question for part 3. You're all done. Ngayon, natapat ka kay 3-minute examiner. Yung last bullet point, hindi mo siya masyadong na-highlight. Nasa gitna ka pa lang, tas gumanon siya. Ibig sabihin na, naka 2 minutes ka na, bilisan mo ng konti kasi hindi ka pa kompleto dun sa 4 bullet points na target. Okay? And then, nagsenya siya ulit, magdagdag ka pa ng info. So, si add, yon. Doon ka na mag-a-add ng mga answers, ng mga info na even though hindi siya kasali sa bullet point, but it will make the story much more interesting. Again ha, ito po ay optional. Hindi po ito kasama sa assessment mo. Ang importante pa rin, address the bullet points within 2 minutes. Matapat tayo kay 2-minute examiner, we're done. Matapat ka kay 3-minute examiner, it's fine. Because you were able to answer, to address all the 4 bullet points. Bakit? In the end, paulit-ulit ako dito sa point ng task 2. Sabi ko nga, kasing galing mo si Ma'am Shannon, kasing galing mo si Sir Irvin, multiple 9s yon. Ng part 1 and 3. May na-miss ka na bullet point kay part 2, uulit tayo ng exam. Promise yan. Sir, paano kung 2 bullet points ang na-miss ko? 5 ang score mo. Sir, paano kung 3 bullet point ang na-miss ko? 4 ang score mo. Sir, paano kung wala ako nasagot na bullet point? Una bes. 3 ang score mo. Okay? Gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo guys ha, ang pinakamababa po na na-encounter ko na score sa talambuhay ng pagtuturo ko ng IELTS is 3.5 in speaking. Yan po. No? Tanungin nyo ako kung ilang tao ang nakakuha ng 3.5, isa lang. Isa lang, out of 7,000. Tanungin nyo ako kung ilan ang naka-9, mahigit 100. So, mas madali pong ma-perfect yung exam kaysa makakuha ng 3.5. Makaka 3.5 ka lang kung talagang sasadyain mong gaguhin yung exam. Promise yan. So, pag ginawa mo yon, talagang makukuha mo tong score na to. Okay? So, madaling sabi, mas madaling pumasa kaysa bumagsak. Just as long as you will answer the questions, you will address your bullet points first, and then you will deliver your answers with great confidence, fluency, and pronunciation. Plus, delivery, style, and charisma. Okay? So, tanong po sa part 2, bago ako dumako dun sa sample ko. Kasi, pwede kong i-discuss eh. Ito, bullet point 1, 2. This is all theoretical. No? All of these are theoretical. Let's go to the actual thing. Example, tell the examiner about the food you like the most. Diba? Ang simple. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, teka, kung mag-iisip ako, meron ba akong timer dito? Tingin ko lang kung may timer ako. Wala. Wala akong timer. Wala akong timer. Timer. May timer ba ako? Okay, sabi ko sa sarili ko, kung mag-iisip ako ng answer, tulad ng kare-kare, kailangan ko pang Englishin yon tulad ng ox-tripe in peanut sauce with sauteed shrimp paste. Pucha, hindi ko naman siya kabisado, di ba? Hindi ko kabisado yung English nun. So, magiging complicated yung aking sagot. Tama po ba? So, I have here a 1-minute countdown timer. Para makita nyo real time paano ako mag-prepare. Yan. So, Kevin, this will be your part 2. I will be flashing your question on the monitor. At ito na nga siya. I will give you specifically 1 minute to prepare using your pencil and paper. At ito na nga po, ready na ang aking pencil and paper. Choo, choo, choo. Let's squiggly. Alright? So, I want you to tell me the food you like the most after this preparation time is over. You may now begin. Good luck. So, favorite food. Mention ko, dessert. Tinatype ko lang to guys kasi mahirap itong isulat. No? Mahirap itong isulat using my pen. No? Baka di nyo maintindihan. I can understand it, pero kayo iniisip ko dito. Favorite food, dessert ang sasabihin ko, and this will be none other than ice cream. Yan. Okay? What this food is, so explain. Ito yung aking number 1. Explain. Ice cream. I have 37 seconds left. How often do you eat? Lagay ko yung tanong. Once a week. Where? Number 3. Lalagay ko din yung question, ha? Do I buy? Supermarket and fast food chains. 10 seconds left. And 4, why do I like it? Sweet. I love sweets. Diba? Ang dami niyang flavors. Many flavors. Done. Kita niyo, nag-alarm na siya. Time is up. Alright. Sabi ng examiner, alright, Kevin, your preparation time is over. Now, time for me to get the task card back. So, ano mangyayari? Kapag po, tapos na yung preparation time, magiging blank na lang po yung ating screen. As in, white lang siya. Yan, magiging white lang. So, imagine, ito lang po yung screen natin, ha? Ito lang pong black portion na to yung screen natin. Imagine po, yan lang po yung matitira. As in, blankong-blanko yan. Nakikita po? So, hala, sir, kung di ko pala kinopya, nagigets nyo siya? Kung di ko pala kinopya, mapapaisip ako, ano nga pa ulit yung tanong sa bullet point 3? Sure ba ako na ito yung tanong sa bullet point 4? It's difficult for you to remember, especially if we are under tension. Remember, you are taking this exam. Ang daming pumapasok sa isip natin. Magkano yung exam? 15,000. Ito ang pang-apply natin sa ibang bansa. Matatapos na ang deadline. Kailangan mo na makapag-take as soon as possible. Tapos baka maibagsak mo just because you weren't able to remember. Kaya napaka-importante, kopyahin. No? Copy and take some notes. Alright. 2 minutes, Kevin, para sagutin. Ito na yung ating 2-minute timer. So, the food I like the most is not actually a dish, but some of which would consider this as a dessert. So, yun yung 10 seconds ko. And this is none other than plain old ice cream. I love eating this food. You see, ice cream is made from dairy. So originally it comes from cow's milk mixed with other different flavors. There are cheese, chocolate, and my favorite of all would definitely be strawberry. Probably because of how difficult it is to get strawberries here in the place where I live in the Philippines. It's a tropical country, so strawberries only come by in Baguio City, which is about 100 or so kilometers away from the place where I live. So, strawberry ice cream is very difficult to get. Okay? So, authentic flavor is difficult to get. How often do I eat ice cream? It's once a week. When I was younger, I used to eat ice cream for as much as every day. But now that I am an adult and I know how too much sugar in the body can cause diseases like diabetes, I try to minimize eating it for only once a week, even though I love eating it. I don't eat it as often as I used to. I buy ice cream in different fast food restaurants. So McDonald's is my favorite fast food chain, and they sell very affordable sundae, which is about half a dollar, it's 25 pesos. So I love buying it there at McDonald's, but I also love buying pints. So during movie nights with my wife and I will buy myself a pint of ice cream, of course, strawberry flavored one at supermarkets. And I like eating ice cream because it's sweet, because I love eating desserts, I love eating sweet stuff, but there are also so many flavors to choose from. Unlike cakes where you have to be really experimental, ice cream cools my senses off and it's very sweet the way how I like it. 2 minutes is done. So, the examiner natapat sa'yo, 3 minutes, nagganon siya. Sige, magdagdag ka pa. So, doon ka na papasok ngayon na nasagot mo na yung 4 bullet points. This is the time for me to add. No? Time for me to add. Anong i-add mo? History. So, anong i-add mo sa history ng ice cream? The first time you ate ice cream. The first time I ate ice cream, I remember the ice cream flavored cone from a supermarket. I was with my mom. She found out that I was the first honor of my batch. And she bought this Cornetto ice cream that I've been non-stop asking her to buy for me because I keep on seeing it on commercials whenever I watch cartoons. That was my first time eating an ice cream in a cone in a supermarket. Tapos sabi pa niya, sige, dagdag ka pa, no? So ice cream is also a staple for many occasions in my country, particularly birthday parties. So even adult birthday parties. My birthday party featured an ice cream. So you guessed it, this is not just my favorite, this is also favorites of all kids and even adults here in the Philippines. Because tropical country, it's very hot and humid. No, ice cream lets us cool our senses off. That's it. You're done. 1 minute preparation, 2 minute, 4 bullet points, additional for 3 minutes. That's how you do it. Okay? Questions? Wala. So another is describe an expensive activity you enjoy doing occasionally. So pwede ka mag-isip, ano bang gusto mong expensive activity dyan? Let's say, ano ba naman yung traveling? Mahal yun di ba? So pag doon, marami ka masasabi. Traveling. So bakit siya expensive? Explain mo. Diba? What is it? So traveling. I think if there's an activity that I consider expensive, is traveling. And that is the reason why I do it occasionally. So traveling, particularly abroad. Traveling to other countries, diba? Is what I consider expensive. Who you do it with, diba? Sino kasama mag-travel? Friends, family members, your family, your wife, your kids. Explain why is expensive. Bakit siya mahal? Diba? So, andyan na yung flight tickets. Lalo ngayon, ang mahal ng gas. So, tumaas din yung cost ng mga flights. Ano pa? Yung hotel booking. Yung itinerary nyo, saan kayo magpupunta. And explain how you feel about it. Na even though mahal siya, this is an experience that you look forward to because traveling is really an eye-opener. It lets you experience food and culture of different countries, and it makes you appreciate your own as well, and it makes you appreciate that you are able to afford such kind of luxury in life. So this is one way to reward yourself, your family, your kids with something because you believe na hindi lahat ng bagay ay material things, some of which can be rewarded using experience. And that is why traveling is your go-to experience when you want to reward yourself and your family as well. Ganon ang atake dyan. Tapos nagganon yung examiner. Kwento mo yung last Out of the country nyo ng asawa mo o out of the country nyo ng pamilya mo, ng mga kaibigan mo, di ba? Describe a daily routine you enjoy. Kaya nyo na yan. Ayan. Describe a time when you had to regret for being polite. So, if you want to watch my full-time preparation and answer here, as I've promised, I will be attaching a separate video, a longer version of this lecture. But what I did, gave us an example was, I'm actually a part-time medical representative of a medical supply company. And then, I was talking to this fellow medrep, and she was inquiring about the products I will be joining in the bidding, which is how governments procure the supply from the hospital usage. So, because I was being polite, I gladly described some of the products, some of the specifications. The problem was, the reason why I regret this is because she used my specifications, my details, my important identifications to use it against my product. That is why I regret it, because I lost the bidding session. So from then on, I learned the lesson not to be too polite to others. Diba? Yun lang. So ikaw, perhaps for me, this is the most difficult question I encountered. Kaya ginawan ko to ng example ngayon sa inyo. Isang panahon sa buhay mo kung saan nagsisi ka, bakit naging sobrang bait mo? Yan. Na-scam ka, nagpahiram ka ng malaking pera at hindi na ito na ibalik pa. Yan ang mga magagandang example dyan. Okay? Nagtiwala ka sa isang tao na lolokohin ka lang din pala. O, di ba? Okay? Make sure you have answered all the questions in detail. Do not limit your answers to the questions, but do not digress. Make sure that you talk for about 2 minutes or more. The more you talk, the better assessment you will have. Remember the TE3 rule. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them, and tell them what you told them. Ayaw na ayaw ng mga examiners yung, today, I will be talking about the dish I know how to cook. Today, I will be talking about the gift that I gave to someone. Today, I will talk about, ayaw nila yon. So that is very scripted for them. That's why you have to introduce it originally, using your original way of introducing it. So, ibig sabihin lang, if I had to recall an instance when I was too polite to someone and I had to regret it in the end, was this time last year when I joined a public bidding at blah 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 hospital. Ganun mo siya introduce. I find my day-to-day activity to be particularly enjoyable, but there's one thing that I enjoy the most is our biking activity with my son. So you see, every 5 o'clock after I get off from work, the place where I live is just 3-minute drive. So I'll immediately change into more active fitting clothing. And then I will be packing my son's bike at the trunk of my car. And then we will be traveling to this closed mall. There's a very huge parking space, about 800 meter in circumference, where we go together. And I just let him ride his bike. And I'll be running, achieving my daily step goal for my fitness. And, di ba, ganun lang siya. Ganun mo siya introduce. So, hindi yung, today, I will talk to you about, ayaw nila yan. Alright? May tanong po. Uy, may dumagdag ah. Sino to? AJ, Angel, Angela, Highness, Jomar, Melo, Miles, Paul, Reina, and Valerie. May tanong. Kasi we're done with part 1, we're done with part 2, we will now go to part 3. This is the two-way discussion. You will be asked questions which are related to the topic on the previous task. The problem here is that your questions could be related. Sometimes your questions are not related at all. May natanong about commercials. And then, napunta sa brands, napunta sa luxury items, napunta sa global fashion trend. No? So, pwede siyang mag-jump from one point to the next. These questions are more difficult than the questions asked in task 2. Questions are usually abstract, which makes it more difficult. And to add, you have to minimize hesitations. Ano nga ba pala yung idea ko para sa bagay na to? So, remember that there is no right or wrong answer here. You are only measured by your ability how to communicate well in English. So, listen to the questions carefully. If you want to ask the question to be repeated, be polite by saying, "Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear your question. Can you please repeat it?" "No, I'm sorry. Can you please repeat the question again?" Diba? "Can you please repeat the question? But this time, can you do it slowly, please?" O, pwede mong sabihin yan. Always aim to expound. Always aim to tell a story. Always aim to elaborate, to give as much detail as you possibly can. Remember, the most challenging aspect of impromptu speaking is in generating and organizing your thoughts. Sometimes, when asked a question, you may get flooded with countless possible answers. Other times, you may draw a complete blank. Remember, the challenge will even be greater if your topic is on a subject that you know nothing about. That's why we have to read in advance. Sometimes, a person's sensitivity to a topic may make it difficult for one to address it adequately. Regardless of what situation you may find yourself in, it can be very useful for you to know that some methodologies can quickly help formulate and organize your off-the-cuff responses. May mga students ako na, totoo, naiiyak sila sa ibang questions dahil too sensitive sila dyan. For example, one student, umiyak, tinanong ko lang about what was the gift that you received. Tapos umiyak siya kasi naalala daw niya yung tatay niya, binigyan siya ng locket, na gold necklace. Ano pa? What is happiness for you? So, hindi na daw niya nararanasan yung happiness sa buhay niya lately, kaya daw siya naiyak. So, we have to remember to keep ourselves calm. Of course, there will be instances na nakakaiyak talaga ang exam. So, just make sure that you can recollect yourself afterwards. Okay? The best method to address your task 3 speaking is none other than the prep method or the point, reason, example, point. So, example, Kevin, you were talking about vacations a while ago. Tell me, where do you want to spend your next holiday vacation? Oh, you know, Malta is a wonderful holiday destination. It's a country rich in history and offers an abundance of activities to travelers like me. They have catacombs, old churches, and raid shelters of the Second World War that my family and I can explore. I would also like to visit their beaches, their bays. Of course, these are just some of the things Malta has to offer. It really is a wonderful holiday destination. So, yun yung example ko. If you want to say Japan, Japan. Why Japan? Blah, blah, blah. Example, that's why I love to visit Japan in the future. So, prep. Who do you think are more fashion conscious, men or women? Diba? I believe that women are more fashion conscious because they are more creative in their style. Well, as a male person who likes to keeping things simple, dressing up is more like, this is a shirt, this is the pants, are they color coordinated for the occasion, and that's it. But my wife, she would love to accessorize. She also buys her luxury bag. So whenever we go to occasions, she is the one like holding the spotlight. I am the one who is like an assistant to her based on how we dress during occasions. So I think more women are fashion conscious. Again, men are becoming more fashion conscious like we did in the past. But still, women take the crown. What is the difference between the lies told by adults as compared to the lies told by children? Tinanong ko po ito this week sa ilan sa mga one-on-one coaching sa akin. Ano pang pinagkaiba ng kasinungalingan na sinabi ng mga bata sa kasinungalingan na sinasabi ng mga matatanda? Once again, it's how you interpret it. I think children lie because they don't want to get punished from something that they did. For example, they broke a vase. So they will be telling a lie that a bird did it or the dog did it. But it will not be them because they will be the one to blame. But for adults, I think they lie because sometimes they want to keep the truth away from hurting other people. For example, a friend of mine, I saw her boyfriend with someone in the mall, and I didn't tell my friend, but I gave hints so that sooner she can discover it for herself. So I think that is the reason why adults and children lie differently, because they want to achieve different outcomes. How does globalization affect fashion? Di ba? Ang dali nang mag-shopping ngayon, unlike before. Dati, pag nakikita mo sa TV, pucha, ang ganda ng Jordan na shoes or ng Kobe na shoes. Ngayon, pwede mo nang orderin online, no? Mas madali na rin siya, mas affordable na rin ang ating mga brands. So, fashion has become more accessible, has become more affordable, has become faster. The problem is the quality has deteriorated. I remember when I was young, I could wear the same shirt for more than 3 years. But now, I think that of how thin the fabric is for some shirts, it looks see-through already. So I think we should still strive for quality. Unfortunately, top quality brands are very expensive. So globalization has affected the fashion industry positively by allowing people to purchase. The economy is moving. There are jobs created, but it has affected the fashion industry negatively due to the ecological imbalances, due to the cotton being farmed, the water being used, the transport of goods, the packaging of so many plastic wrappers lying over. So I think we should correct this fashion trend so that this globalization can be more advantageous than problematic. Why do you think parents nowadays prefer home study rather than sending their children to school? Safety and security lang naman dyan. So, which do you prefer? Working in big or small groups? So again, later, pag natapos tong klase, pwede mong screenshot to. Pwede mo siyang practice. Nakaharap ka sa salamin. Ito yung phone. Naka-record siya. No? Ano bang sagot ko dito? Which do you prefer? Working in big or small groups? So, in my preference, I would rather work with small groups because they are much more manageable. Especially if I am just a member, I can contribute and I know my specific role. But a bigger group, although it can manage, it can do the task faster due to many people coordinating, I think it's very difficult to designate roles of who will be doing who. So some of the roles could overlap. So I'd rather be in a small group instead. O ganun, yun yung sagot ko. Kung gusto mo big, explain mo kung paano. How do you spend your night? Ano mga ginagawa mo? Video games ka ba? Nagbubook ka ba? Nanonood ka ba ng movie? Tell me about the various forms of relaxation. Having a massage, listening to music, or both. Or playing video games. Differentiate change and progress. Change isn't always for the better. Di ba sabi nga ng mga iba, sa mga jowa nila, nagbago ka na, dati nahatid mo ko, ngayon, gay, ingat, gano'n na lang sinasabi mo sa akin. So, may pagbabago na hindi okay, may pagbabago na masama. Nagbago na to, hindi na masarap yung lasa ng restaurant na to. Progress is always for the innovation. So, say something about sports facilities in your hometown. When was the last time you waited? Kailan ka ba nag-wait? Sa bus? Nag-wait ka ba sa order mo? Nag-wait ka ba sa turn mo magupitan? No? So mention it to the examiner, elaborate it, tell a story about it. Some people have the cunning ability to talk but not the ability to communicate. Remember here that the key is authenticity. Always aim to be authentic. Be yourself and do not be afraid to tell personal stuff about yourself. Examiners really want this genuineness, this authenticity of the exam. So what to do before? Pray. Sana po madadali exam. Or, Sir, Lord, mahirap man yung exam, give me the strength and knowledge to answer them. Relax. It's normal to feel mild anxiety or nervousness. Pag may mild anxiety ka, it actually helps you to dilate your pupils, be more focused on something. But, of course, kapag sobra-sobra naman na yan, dapat control mo na siya by relaxing. And be confident. Lagi ka nakasmile yan. Kahit fake. Alright? Because it's different. It sounds different when you speak like Hi, my name is Kevin. You can call me Kevin for short. That is what my family and friends calls me. It's nice to meet you. Then, hi, my name is Kevin Mangolabnan. Please call me Kevin for short as that is what my friends and family call me. It's nice to meet you. Di ba? Kahit medyo plastic, nung gawing plastic masyado. Smile, it makes you gain confidence, makes you feel relaxed, no? Listen, questions are sometimes being asked instantaneously. Talagang minsan gugulatin ka niya sa, would you want to own a boat in the future? Saan ang galing yun, di ba? Saan ang galing yung bangka? No? So, that's it. Come prepared, practice speaking, attend one-on-one coaching, and practice talking, answering in detail. Harap sa salamin, sagot ng mga questions, record yourself. During the test, be willing to talk. Answer questions clearly. Do not be shy. Simple answers don't mean one-word answers. Simple answers mean you are choosing a simple answer. You can elaborate more later. Okay? Never tell the examiner that you're nervous. Wag na wag. Bawal ka magsagot ng one word lang because that's cutting the interview short. So, answer in complete sentences. Add 2 to 3 more sentences to give reason, give example, and to explain your point. Warning, do not hesitate for too long in your answer. Do not repeat information you already gave. Do not overuse the words I and will. That is a promise. Why are you making a promise? Are you going to see the examiner again? We don't want to see them again because that only means we have to take this test again. So again, no, I will. Do not be afraid to correct a grammatical mistake, but remember, fluency is just as important as grammar. If you're going to return to the previous statement you made just because you want to correct a grammar you thought was a mistake, please don't do that because it will ruin the fluency of your speech. Correct mo yung grammar mo later na lang pag meron kang chance. For example, my mother is a very kind person. He, maling grammar yon, hindi ko pinahalata. Is a very kind woman. She, tama na ngayon, wala nang problema. Hindi na maalala ng examiner na karoon ka ng mistake because you corrected it this time around. Okay? So, that's it. What you say is important, but remember, how you say it matters the most in the speaking subtest. Remember, authenticity, tell examiner stories and examples, elaborate, make this talkativeness asserted at the beginning, start strong, and finish strong in your test. Thank you very much. That's the end of our lecture for today. So, we have those 11 participants. Mag-picture muna tayo. You can turn on your cameras. Teka. Kasya ba sa dynamic gallery to? Yan. Pwede nyo pong i-on ang ating cameras. Yun. Si Melo, si Miles, si Reyna, si Valerie, si Hines, si AJ. Come on, join us, guys. Si Melo, hawak niya yung buong mundo. Ha, Melo? Guys, wala akong kasama dito. Mga lamok lang, tsaka mumu ang kasama ko. Diyos ko po. Alright. Sino pa? Si Angel, si AJ, si Reyna, at si Valerie. Yan. Si AJ, parang tipaklong si AJ, oh. Dahil nasa mga damo siya. Joke lang, AJ, alright? What about Reyna and Valerie? Where are you guys? Sige, mukhang wala si Reyna and Valerie. Ayaw niyang sumali sa atin. Okay, sa picture muna tayo, guys. lang ha. Alright. So, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, yun lang. Maraming salamat. May questions kayo? Just ask me during our sessions. Have a nice day. God bless and good luck sa inyo. Bye-bye.